Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be doing a thermometer comparison between three different watches. The Nixon Regulus Expedition, which roughly right now in December of 2021 is going for about $250. The Garmin Instinct Solar, which again right now is going for about $200. And then the CakCity SPV 710, which is about a $60 watch on Amazon. So in this video, I'm not going to get into which of these is better. They're totally different watches, and each one has its positives and each one has its negatives. All I'm doing here is showing you the thermometer in case there's somebody out there who's debating between these watches, or they just like watching watch videos and they want to see how the thermometer feature works on each of them. The other thing is they've all been off of my wrist for the same amount of time, so we'll see how well the sensors match up, especially because of the price variation between all of them. So with the Nixon, it's pretty simple. You're in a regular timekeeping mode, then you've got a mode button down here on the bottom left. If you press that, your thermometer information is going to be under an option called Camp. So when I go down to Camp and I select it, it's going to tell me remove the watch from my wrist to get the most accurate temperature reading. I've already done that. It asked me to verify my altitude. I'm going to do that. And you can see that's what the thermometer looks like. The Nixon and the CakCity watch are both going to have the thermometer within their barometer. We'll see when we do the Garmin Instinct, the thermometer is actually a standalone widget. So you can see here's my barometer reading, and then my temperature reading on the Nixon is at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. What I really like about the Nixon watch, as well as the CakCity watch, is you can leave it on thermometer as long as you want. It won't take you back to the regular screen, and you can see the time while you see your thermometer reading, which is great. What's really nice about the Nixon and CakCity is not only can you see thermometer time, you can also see your barometric pressure. The Garmin Instinct unfortunately doesn't allow you to do that. If you want to go in and see the thermometer sensor, you can look at it, but after 2 minutes it'll take you back to the main timekeeping screen, and you can't look at your current time as well as your thermometer sensor at the same time. I'll try and show you that. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. Let's go ahead and look at the Garmin Instinct. Now the Garmin Instinct has a lot more bells and whistles. It's a pseudo smartwatch, whereas these two are not smartwatches at all. They run on a battery, they don't have any Bluetooth capability, they can't connect to a phone, anything. With the Garmin Instinct, you've got to have the thermometer downloaded as a widget. I've got it. That's what it looks like. So on my Garmin Instinct, I'm showing a temperature of 80 degrees. What's kind of nice with the Garmin Instinct is you can see a chart down here of the last 4 hours of my thermometer reading. Now you can see basically when I took it off of my wrist, you'll notice how this graph is kind of high, and then all of a sudden there's a drop here lately. That's because I took it off of my wrist. I will say this, it might be because of where they have the sensor located. My Garmin Instinct thermometer sensor seems to be higher than the other ones. I get a more invalid reading with the Garmin Instinct than I do with the Nixon and the CakCity when they're on my wrist. Take it off your wrist for a few minutes, it's fine. But the thermometer sensor seems to run a little bit high on the Garmin Instinct. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to sit it there. If you can see it, you'll notice after 2 minutes, it'll take us off of that screen. The other thing that's a negative is all you can see is the temperature in the last 4 hours, your high and your low. You can't see your current time. You can't see your barometric pressure, anything like that. And again, you can't stay on this screen for longer than 2 minutes, which to me is a negative for the Garmin Instinct. Now let's look at the CakCity watch. I'll say this, I knew nothing about this brand. I just saw it for $60 and said, hey, it's got a barometer, thermometer feature on it. Why not try it out? Theirs is really pretty easy. You've got a barometer button. If I press it, it'll take me into my barometer. And now we've got a couple of different options here. If I press the light button, that will show me my temperature. So we can see that the temperature is 75.4. The nice thing about the CakCity watch is it also gives me a decimal point, whereas the Nixon and the Garmin Instinct do not. The Garmin Instinct will actually give you a decimal point reading on your thermometer if you buy their additional tempi sensor, but just with the Instinct itself, it basically just gives you the degrees just like the Nixon, no decimal point. Now, you'll notice on the CakCity watch, if I leave it here, it'll take me back to my main timekeeping. It just did that, but they give you the option of going into it and then pressing and holding this light button, and that will lock the screen, and now I can stay in that screen as long as I want to. So it's kind of interesting. 78 degrees is what this one's reading, 75.7 is what this is reading, and my Garmin Instinct, when we were in it, was reading 80 degrees. The other thing about the CakCity watch that's kind of nice is you don't have to be in the barometer if you don't want to. It also shows you a lot of barometer values. I can see my current barometric pressure, the temperature, as well as a historical trend, a weather indicator, and a last hour indicator of what the barometric pressure has been doing in the last hour. So they actually show you a lot of values under your barometer feature. I did want to mention under the time feature, if I didn't even want to go into the barometer, I can simply press the light button, and under the time mode, I can see my temperature as well. I don't even have to go into the barometer. Again, it's kind of nice because I can leave my temperature on this as long as I want to. Same thing with the Nixon. With the Garmin Instinct, I can. But anyway, that's just a quick comparison. If you're interested in buying one of these watches and you're trying to figure out which one has the best thermometer sensor, how they work, I hope this video at least gives you an idea of that. Thanks for watching.